Good evening, ELC and AGCS family and friends.
Yes, good evening.
Thanks for joining us for another Sunday evening book club. We're really excited to be continuing our chapter book, and actually after reading it, Mrs. Johnson and I got a fantastic idea. We are also challenging our students and staff to create a thankful list. We decided we would make it an alphabet list, so every letter they have to find something to be thankful for as a class. And we're really looking forward to seeing them by the end of the month and displaying them and seeing what all the students and staff are really thankful for.
Yeah, and then tomorrow's letter is I.
We're also doing a thankful list from Mrs. Johnson and I. So each day we're representing someone or something that we're really thankful for, and we're sharing that with the students and the staff. Tomorrow's letter is I, so you'll have to ask your child what we're thankful for or who we're thankful for.
That's right. So I look forward to that. It's certainly making my November a very happy one.
Mine as well. Lots of joy when there's gratitude. So we're going to continue reading on with our Junie B. We finished off end of chapter 2. Mrs. Johnson read for us last week. As we were finishing off, remember they were calling out different things they were thankful for. Majority of them were for food, and they were having a hard time. Mr. Scary was having a hard time accepting that, but then I think he said, well, let's just see where it takes us. So we're going to continue reading and see where it takes us. Chapter 3, Thankful Bags. Tuesday. Dear First Grade Journal, today is still the month of Thanksgiving, but hooray, hooray! We are going to have show and tell for the whole entire day. That is because yesterday, Mr. Scary gave us thankful bags to take home with us, and today we had to bring them back with something we are thankful for. We are keeping them a secret until show and tell. I brought something that I love very much. Here is a helpful hint. It's not my brother Ollie. Your friend, Junie B, first grader. I put down my pencil and I looked around the room. All of the children had their thankful bags next to their chairs. Some of the bags looked empty-ish, and some of them looked full-ish. My thankful bag looked middle-ish. I picked it up and put it on my desk. Then I leaned over, and I tapped May's arm. My thankful bag is middle-ish, I said real pleasant. May did not pay attention to me. I tapped her on her arm again. You're probably wondering what is in my bag, but I cannot tell you. On account of it has to say a surprise until show and tell. May turned her back to me. This time I tapped her on her head. Helpful hint, it's not my brother Ollie, I said. Just then May exploded out of her seat and she tattled real loud. Mr. Scary, Mr. Scary, Junie B will not stop bothering me, she hollered. Mr. Scary frowned his eyebrows at me. I waved my fingers very friendly. Hello, how are you today? I'm fine, I said. I was just showing May my thankful bag. I held it up in the air. It's middle-ish, I said. Mr. Scary kept on frowning. I put my bag on my desk and folded my hands very politely. Okay, I guess that wraps it up, I said. Mr. Scary got a teensy smile on his face. Sometimes he enjoys me, I believe. Pretty soon he stood up at his desk and he clapped his loud hands together. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to get started with our very special day of show and tell. Please put your journals away and arrange your chairs in a circle. We slammed our journals shut. Slam, 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 bam. Slam, bam. Slam, 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 bam. Mr. Scary stuck his cheeks in at us. We quickly opened our journals again and we shut them very quietly. After that, we put our chairs in a circle. And we got ready for a whole entire day of show and tell. Woohoo! I said to Herbert. This is a dream come true. A whole entire day of no learning. Herb laughed and clapped. I wish every day had no learning, he said. Me too, I said. If every day had no learning, school would be a lot more popular. May butted into our conversation. Well, I'm thankful for learning, she said. There is nothing I like better than learning, learning, learning. And after that, she started skipping around her chair. I glared at her. Here's a suggestion, I said. Why don't you skip on home? May stuck out her tongue at me. There was no need for that. Just then, Mr. Scary clapped his hands again. Okay, everyone, make sure you have your thankful bags at your chairs. Please take a seat. All of us got our bags and sat down. Good job, he said. It looks like we're ready to begin. I can't wait to see what kind of wonderful things you're thankful for. You know, if I were Mr. Scary, I think right then when everybody got in their seat, I'd give them all a woof dollar for being really accountable.
I think I agree with you.
He pointed to Roger. Roger, would you like to start us off? He said. Roger's face looked sickish. Why? He said. Why me? Mr. Scary smiled. I know, Roger. I just thought you might like to start us off. That's all. Roger did a gulp. Oh, well, I wouldn't. Mr. Scary stopped smiling. Okay, it wasn't really a question, Roger, he said. I'd like for you to go first. Roger's face got all sweaty. He just kept sitting there. Roger, he said, come on. Finally, Roger did a deep breath, and he got up real slow, and he picked up his thankful bag. It looked empty-ish. Mostly I'm just thankful for this thankful bag, he said. He held it out in front of him and gave a little shake. I don't know why I like this bag so much, but I just really, really am thankful for it. He did a pause. The end, he said, and quickly sat down. Mr. Scary frowned. Really, Roger? In your whole life, you're only thankful for the plastic bag I gave you yesterday? That's it? Roger stood up again. Well, no, I'm thankful for other stuff too, he said. Mr. Scary raised his eyebrows. Like? Roger's face got all stressed. Like. He quickly looked around himself. Then all of a sudden, he stretched out the bottom of his t-shirt. Like this t-shirt I'm wearing. I'm very, very thankful for this t-shirt. Roger's face got even sweatier. This t-shirt is, white, he finally said. Yes, Mr. Scary nodded really slowly. We can see that, Roger. Roger kept stretching his shirt. Then he turned up the bottom, and he read us the tag. Machine wash, warm, lay flat to dry, he read. And after that, he stretched out the back of the neck, and he read us that tag too. I'm sorry. Boy size 6 to 8, he read. Made in... Mr. Scary quickly held up his hand. That's enough, Roger, he said. Roger kept on standing there. Honduras, he said. Mr. Scary snapped his fingers loudly. Roger sat down. Show and tell was not off to a good start. Chapter 4, Diving. Mr. Scary stared at Roger for a long time. He said they would talk about this later. Talk about this later is the school word for getting yelled at when no one's around. Roger slumped way back into his seat. After that, Mr. Scary looked back at the class. Okay, everyone, we're going to continue now, he said. But this time, please raise your hand if you actually brought something to show. Lucille sprang out of her chair. I did, she hollered. I brought the best thing you ever saw. She then reached down and she picked up her giant purse out of her thankful bag. Wait till you see this, children, she said. I brought something that everyone in the whole wide world is thankful for, and I have lots and lots and lots of it. After that, she turned her big giant purse upside down, and wowee, wow, wow, out came... Lucille shouted, Money! Money, money, money! I'm so thankful for money! Room 1 did a gasp at the sight. Then all of our mouths fell open at once, and our eyes got bigger and bigger. And then, bam! We dived for it. Here's a little picture of Lucille dumping all that money out on the floor. She must have emptied her whole piggy bank.
I think so.
Money! We hollered. Money, money, money! I started to grab. And it's the paper kind, I yelled. Lucille laughed real happily. Then she turned around and she turned her thankful bag inside out. And more money fell out on top of us. Yee! Woohoo! Yippee! We all hollered. Mr. Scary was hollering too, I think. But it's hard to hear your teacher when you're diving in for money. Finally, he raised his voice a little louder. Go back to your seats, he hollered. Now! Everyone stopped grabbing, and they hurried back to their seats speedily. Except, well, not actually for me. Instead, I kept sitting on the floor, 'cause I had a teensy problem. Junie B. Jones, did you hear me? I said go back to your seat. I nodded real nervous. Yes, I said, I only have a teensy problem. I pointed at his shoe. You're actually standing on a 5er. And so if you could just lift up this shoe right here, I can get my money and be on my way. I tapped on the foot he should lift. Then I waited and waited for it to move. But it did not budge and said, yikes. Mr. Scary was pointing at me to go right back to my seat. I started smiling really twitchily, and I smoothed over my skirt. Okie dokie, I said. I believe I will just sit here now and behave myself. Mr. Scary kept on standing there. I waved all my fingers at him. Alrighty then, have a good day, I said. He took some deep breaths. Deep breaths are what teachers do to keep them sane. Room 1 stayed quiet as a mouse. I could hear Mr. Scary's nose whistling. But now was not the time to tell him he probably needed a tissue. Finally, he finished breathing, and he picked up Lucille's bag and her giant purse, and he went around the circle, and he made us put all of our money back in. Sheldon hung his head low. I'm sorry, he said. Free money makes me cuckoo. Herb nodded. Me too, especially the paper kind. At my house, I don't even get allowance. Me neither, said Roger. My parents expect me to live at home for free. Lenny rolled his eyes. Oh well, I get a whopping quarter for taking out the trash. Seriously, that's it, 1 quarter. And he threw his hands in the air. I mean, why even bother? Mr. Scary snapped his fingers. That means knock it off. After that, all of us stayed quiet while Mr. Scary went to the board. He stood there very thinkingly. Then finally he picked up the chalk, and he added money to our thankful list. After he finished, he took Lucille by the hand, and he walked her to the door. Boys and girls, Lucille and I are going to take her money to the office for safekeeping. But while we're gone, I want you to stay in your seats, and I want you to think very, very hard about what just happened. He narrowed his eyes at us. I think we all know that Lucille's family is wealthy, and we were all very happy for her. But there's a lot of other things to be thankful for besides money. Right, Lucille? He said. Right, she said. She shook her head around the air. I'm also thankful for my shining, gleaming hair. Then she kept on shaking it until Mr. Scary said, please stop. He looked at her. Believe it or not, Lucille, there are plenty of people who don't have money or shiny hair, but they are still very happy. Lucille fluffed herself up. That's just nuts, she said, and Mr. Scary and Lucille walked out of the door. All right, we're going to stop there. Excuse my little laughing. I just find room 1 to be quite comical because I know our students might be having similar conversations, but they're all very respectful for their teacher. And poor Mr. Scary, his class needs a little lesson on kindness. Yes. I think they're going to learn that in this book.
I think so. So thanks for joining us. Now tomorrow we have a couple of things to say about tomorrow. So first, the links for the conferences will go live at about 3:30 on Monday afternoon. So check School Messenger and you'll be able to sign up for your child's conference. So that's very important. And we are sure that during your conference, you are going to hear many wonderful and kind things about your children. So I'm sure you're really looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to see all the parents coming.
Absolutely. We love it. Mm-hmm. And also tomorrow is a very special holiday. It's Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
We're very much looking forward to celebrating it with our students and reminding them that we're so thankful for our vets and their service for us.
Absolutely.
We hope that you'll be able to wear red, white, or blue tomorrow to show off your support of our vets on Veterans Day.
That's right. So thank you so much. Everybody have a good night. And boys and girls, we will see you tomorrow.
Good night.